My name's Ben Chin, and I was born in China. I came over the United States in 1935. That was when Franklin Roosevelt was president, and Joe Louis was boxing champion. And I came to the United States in Portland, Oregon. That lived with my grandfather. My grandfather's the one that got me over here. And I spent, I was about 12. And then I went to school, and I don't know any of the alphabet or any English.
So you moved over when you were 12 years old, and then when did you become a citizen?
I was already a citizen when I came over, because my father was a citizen.
Oh, your father was a citizen. Yeah. Okay.
So in a citizen's son, like you go over. See, those immigration laws are kind of funny, They let the male come in, but the long females come in.
So did your mother stay, or?
Yeah, all the females stay in China before.
Did your mother ever move to America?
No, she died in 1949 when the communists took over in China.
Your father moved over and then you followed him?
No, my father died when I was 7 years old.
Oh, when you're 7.
7 years old, and I think he died in Hong Kong, in a French hospital in Hong Kong.
Okay.
And they shipped the body back to the interior. I was born in the interior, in one of those villages in China. And then that's how come I have to live with my grandfather. My grandfather's is a partner with a grocery store in Portland, Oregon, a Chinese grocery store with sells herbs and stuff.
Did you ever go back to visit China after you left?
Yeah, I went back in 1948.
1948, just before your mother died?
Yeah. In 1948. That's when 1949 the communists took over.
Yes.
And then that's how she died, I guess. I got a telegram from Uncle Sam that you to draft in the army,
Oh.
And when I got drafted in the army, I think induction in Fort Lewis, Washington. And then when I went to the war in North Africa, I served in North Africa, Italy, France, and Germany. I stayed about 25 months in overseas.
What years was it? What years was it?
That's 1943, 1944. At first, I didn't know there's the sentiment about the Chinese, because I'm from Portland, and until one of the real estate agents told me about it, He told me about the history of Humboldt County, about the Chinese in the Tong War accidentally killed a councilman. And then all the vigilantes, get it up and then ship all the Chinese out, within 24 hours. So he called a mayor. The mayor in Eureka was George C. Jacob, and he owns the warehouse, hardware store across the street from that restaurant, in the Chinese eating time.
Yeah.
And he called the mayor. He says the mayor told him that, well, I don't encourage him to go, and I don't encourage him to stay. But if he's got to stay, I could give him the best protection there is, stuff like that.
The mayor said that?
The mayor told the real estate agent.
Oh.
And then I started to stay. When I think I want to have to clean up the place, it got to open. There's all kinds of phone calls. I've seen telephones come in. Say, you better get out of town. We don't want your kind here, stuff like that. So I got mad. I said, you chicken, you come in there and tell me in person, because I was pretty mad then. And pretty soon, I told the manager, the telephone company, His name was Jim Nealis. So he's a manager in the tavern. He said, well, I could do that. I could find out, who calls, and I could, take the phone away from them. Then we become pretty good friends,
Uh-huh. Did they do that?
Yeah, he did. But I don't know who called, I didn't tell me about it. But when he said that, that makes me feel kind of pretty good,
Yeah.
At least somebody, that not anti-Chinese.
Yeah.
So I got open. It got so busy. I think both people are curious, curiosity to come in, and it was real busy. And then a lot of people the food was good. They come in and say, we're glad you're here. You have a lot of courage.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes me feel a lot better too. But
Did they know that you had served in the war?
no, they didn't. Nobody did. No.
Nobody did.
Nobody know. So
I read something, an old newspaper from the 1800s that was talking about the Chinese, and they said that the Chinese are hardworking, but never back down from a fight.
yeah.
So it's not that they're aggressive people, but if you challenge them, they're not
Yeah.
going to shy away.
No, if you're not afraid, fight. You don't know who's going to win. When you fight, maybe you're bigger, but the small guy can, duck. But one punch, the big guy, you're out. See? But you have to fight a little bit kind of dirty, on the side and then the deck,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, that's the way I figure.
Do you think you lived an American dream?
What I say, I tell them that, I'm glad that, I come to Humboldt County. I make a lot of good friends too.
Yes.
I used to be mayor, chief of police. They're all friends of mine. And then even a Congressman Don Clausen.
Yeah.
He's a friend of mine. A lot of good lawyers are friend of mine. Just because this thing happened.
Would it have been easier for you to move to San Francisco than Eureka?
No, in San Francisco, you can't get in a restaurant with money I have, or unless you go to work there. But I didn't want to go work there, so I just had my mind to have a restaurant and a motel, and I had my goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when there's a guy that the meat market, come to live in meat all the time. A lot of time we talk, and then what's your goal? And I asked him about it. I told him about it. I said, a restaurant and a motel. And when I done that, get a restaurant and a motel, he come in and say, you finally built your goal.
Mm-hmm.
So